thank you so much for watching Sunday Brunch from Houston. You are watching TV1, which is, of course, all over US and Canada. And we were having a very important discussion. We talked about the heart, we talked about pharmacy, and I think some of your questions were answered. And we'll do another show, inshallah, where we can have more discussions like this. And to wrap up the show now, we're running out of time. So Dr. Szabo, I did want to thank you very much for taking out the time from your busy schedule, for being a part of my show. And what would you like to say for our viewers?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. This has been fantastic. As far as maybe closing statements, I think as far as heart disease and whatnot, I think heart disease is very simple. It's a matter of really modifying your risk factors, making sure that you take your medicines, making sure that you get in and see your physician. You brought up a point earlier about people having trouble to get health care and whatnot. There are a lot of solutions out there and a lot of alternatives. I think Obamacare, although not perfect, and I don't want to get into politics of Obamacare.
I don't discuss politics.
But I think there are options out there for people, and I think people need to make sure they take a hard look at them, because medicines and physicians and hospitals can only go so far, but really most of people's healthcare is done while they're at home and in between office visits. And I think the last thing I would say is, if you have heart disease and you have questions about the medicines you're taking and you're not getting the answers you need from your doctor, make sure you find another doctor then, because I think there's options out there for that too. But really, take your medicines, try to exercise if you can, quit the bad habits if you smoke or whatnot, or your eating habits, etc. Those are really the big things that anybody can do. Outside of that, you can't escape your DNA, like I said.
Exactly.
If you have,
we can't escape our DNA.
Exactly.
This is what our parents gave us, so we're stuck with it.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Szabo. And Dr. Ehab, of course, I want to thank you also for taking the time out from your busy schedule, being a part of my show. And what would you like to say to our audience?
I just want to tell your audience that nowadays they have a choice of talking to the pharmacist about their prescription. Don't just go and pick up your prescription. Stop for a minute, ask questions, why, how, and why I'm taking these prescriptions. Sometimes some of the stuff that you eat, having grapefruit every morning, can have a very big issue with your prescription. So talk about your prescription with your pharmacist, discuss some of the side effects that you have, and if you miss a dose, or if you're having a problem, or you're having a side effect, there's always a chance that you could gain a lot of knowledge by visiting for a couple of minutes even with your pharmacist to understand what you take. At the same time, the doctors usually do the job of finding the problem and give you the solution. We help you as pharmacists to stay on the track, follow the plan that the doctor put to get where you want to be, which is basically healthy and enjoy your time with your family and with your kids.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. And of course, like you just heard, it's not just important that you go to see a doctor. First of all, if there are problems you're having, we talked about a very serious thing about heart attacks. If you feel like you're having one, or someone you know, do something about that. And it's not just going to a doctor, any specialist, it's also going to the treatment. And something I want to take a minute to talk about is that if you are prescribed medicines, make sure you are taking those medicines. Don't try to be cheap on that. And I just said that on national TV, that, oh, let me just take their medicine. No, that could be detrimental effects that you can have. So be careful with that, because you have one life to live, so take care of it. And a special message that I have for the ladies out there, because somehow it's the women in our society that are doing the more multitasking. Take care of yourself. Going to the doctor, just taking your kids, just taking the husband or sending the husband isn't enough. Take care of yourself as a woman. We have so much on our shoulders. Even the men out there, I don't want to offend anyone. But anyway, thank you so very much for bringing us into your lives and being a part of Sunday Brunch from Houston. And before we go, I would like to thank Faisal Kamal of Embassy Suites Energy Corridor for providing us this beautiful venue. If you are planning a party, an event, do call them. They have beautiful packages. They have beautiful banquet halls. And do call them. Let them know you heard on TV1. जाने से पहले, जैसे मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ, जहाँ रहें खुश रहें, ज़िंदगी बहुत छोटी है, हर एक से बना के रखें, लेकिन अगर कुछ गलत होता है तो कुछ कीजिए उसके बारे में. Maybe I should translate that in English today for my guest. Whenever something happens, don't sit down quietly and just watch. Do something about that, because just because you're sitting quietly and watching, it might happen to you one day. So do something about that. Anyway, inshallah, next week we'll meet with another topic with some more guests. We'll see you next week. Allah Hafiz.